all, welcome back to the Crochet Designer Blueprint series. My name is Elizabeth and I've been designing for almost a decade now. In the previous episodes, we went over how to put your pattern into a clear instruction for your prospective maker. Today, we're going to talk about pattern testing and tag editing. If you've ever wondered, how do I find pattern testers? How do I choose the right testers and how many do I need? What does a tag editor do? And do I need one? Should I use testers and tag editor or both? How do I set a timeline for testing based on my publication goals? What's the best way to compensate testers? Then this episode is for you. Let's get into it. What is a pattern tester? A pattern tester is a crocheter who makes your design exactly as written to help identify errors, confusing instruction, or areas that needs improvement. Their feedback ensures that the pattern is clear, the stitch count are correct, and the project turns out as expected. Testers are not responsible for fixing errors or making edits. That's where a tag editor comes in, which we'll discuss in a moment. Testers help by following your instructions as written to see if they are clear and easy to understand. They check stitch count, repeats, and special techniques to ensure they work as expected. They provide feedback on difficulty level to help you label your pattern correctly. They share photos so you can see how your design works with different yarn choice and if it's a garment, how it fits different bodies. What is a tag editor? Unlike testers, a tag editor is a professional who goes through your pattern with a technical eye to catch errors and inconsistencies before beginning testing. A tag editor checks the math and stitch count by making sure everything adds up, consistency by ensuring terminologies and formatting match throughout the pattern, clarity by helping you reword confusing section while keeping your voice intact, and accuracy by checking measurements, gauge, and shaping instruction. A tag editor does not crochet the pattern. You can find tag editors in Facebook groups, through Instagrams, Ravelry forums, freelance platforms like Fiverr and Upwork, and by networking with other designers. Hiring a tag editor is optional, but highly recommended, especially if you're selling or submitting to magazines. Testers versus tag editors, or do you need both? As a new designer, I recommend you start with testers. For more complex or advanced patterns, using both testers and a tag editor is ideal. If you're submitting to a magazine, a tag editor is usually required before submission. Some magazines have in-house tag editors who will review and adjust your pattern, while others expect you to submit a professionally edited version. Always check the magazine submission guideline and contract details so you know which one is required before finalizing your pattern. Finding pattern testers. There are several platforms where you can find testers for your patterns. Facebook groups are a great starting point. Look for groups that are especially made for crochet pattern testing, such as those titled Crochet Pattern Testers or Crochet Testing Groups. These communities consist of crocheters who are looking to try new designs and give feedback. If you've built a following on social media, your most dedicated followers could be the perfect testers. You can engage with your followers by posting in your stories, asking if anyone is interested in testing your patterns. If you're on Discord or Ravelry, these platforms often have dedicated channels for pattern testing. Yarn is another platform specially designed for connecting designers with testers, making it easy to find experienced individuals. When posting a call for testers, it's important to include a few key details. First, specify the skill level required for the pattern. This ensures you attract testers who can handle the difficulty level of your design. Be clear about the yarn weight and hook size you are using, as this helps testers prepare the right materials before starting the pattern. Set a deadline for completion so testers know how much time they will have to finish the project and submit feedback. Clarify what type of feedbacks testers will need to provide and whether they will need to provide photos as well. How to choose the right testers. Not everyone who volunteers will be a good fit for your testing needs. Picking a well-balanced group of testers ensures you get an accurate and valuable feedback that will help you refine your pattern. When choosing testers, there are several key aspects to consider. First, match the skill level of your testers to the pattern's difficulty. For example, if the pattern is aimed at beginners, make sure to include at least one tester who is a true beginner. This will help you identify whether your instructions are clear enough for someone who's new to crochet. On the other hand, if your design is advanced, testers with more experience will be able to spot technical errors and assess whether or not the complexity of the pattern is manageable. Reliability is another important factor when choosing testers. You want to select testers who have a proven track record of completing tests on time and submitting useful feedback. If you're recruiting from a group like Facebook or Crochet forums, look for their past testing experience. It's okay to reach out to other designers and ask them how this person performed when they were testing for them. A mix of testers is always essential. Crocheters can interpret instructions in different ways, and a diverse group of testers can catch errors that others might miss. Testers who use different brands of yarn, hold their yarn differently, or prefer different type of pattern formats, written versus charted, can give you more insight into how accessible your pattern is for different crocheters. This variation also helps ensure that your pattern will work well across different styles and preferences. If you are considering selecting new testers, make sure to ask for photos of their previous crochet projects. This allows you to gauge their skill level and make sure they can follow instruction accurately. Even though they may not have experience with the pattern testing, they could still be a great addition to your group if their crochet work shows that they can handle your pattern and provide helpful feedback. How many testers do you need? The number of testers you need will vary depending on the type and complexity of your project. Here's a general breakdown. For small items such as hats or headbands, 3 to 5 testers should be enough. These projects are typically easy and quick to make, so a small group can just check for errors and confirm that the instructions are clear. Medium projects like scarves, shawls, or small bags typically require 5 to 7 testers. These designs often involve more shaping or specific construction techniques. A slightly larger testing group ensures you can catch inconsistencies. When designing garments such as sweaters or size-inclusive designs, it's important to test with at least 1 to 2 testers per size. For size-inclusive patterns, having testers for every size ensure that your designs fits properly across a range of body types. For larger projects or things with intricate lace work, a larger group of testers of 5 to 10 is ideal, as these projects often have larger stitch counts and details that can be more prone to errors. Setting a testing timeline. Your testing timeline should be carefully aligned with your publication deadline, providing enough time for testers to complete their project and provide you with feedback while also allowing time for revisions. The size and complexity of your projects will directly impact how long the testing phase should be. Quick projects like hats may only require a week for testers to complete, while larger, more intricate projects like size-inclusive garments or blankets will need several weeks. Provide enough time to allow testers to work through any challenges and give you time to ensure that the pattern is clear and accurate. Testers vary in how quickly they work. Some might finish a project in a few days, while others might need more time due to other obligations or personal circumstances. Additionally, holidays or busy season can affect how much time testers have to dedicate to your pattern. If your pattern is intended for a specific season, it's important to plan the design testing and release timeline accordingly. This way, crocheters have enough time to make the item before they actually need it. For instance, if you're designing a spring pattern, begin the testing process in the winter to ensure it's ready for release as the weather warms up. Seasonal design often perform best when released slightly before the season starts, allowing crocheters time to gather material and finish their projects. When planning your testing timeline, a small project can be tested in 1 to 2 weeks. Medium projects such as scarves, shawls may require 2 to 4 weeks. Garments and blankets, 4 to 12 weeks of testing. Just keep in mind that this is only the testing period. Provide your testers with enough time to order yarn if needed and be able to receive it on time to start your project and still have time to finish it and provide you with those feedbacks. When planning for seasonal designs, work backwards from your intended release date. For example, with spring patterns, start designing in early winter, December-January timeframe, test midwinter, January-February, and release by late winter or early spring, February-March time. Factor in potential delays such as shipping issues if testers need to purchase yarn. Avoid setting deadlines during major holidays when people may be distracted by other commitments. If a tester falls behind, have a backup plan in place, such as recruiting an extra tester for crucial sizes or adjusting your timeline. How to compensate testers. Since testers play a major role in refining your pattern, they should be compensated for their time and effort. While crochet testing is typically unpaid in the indie designing world, there are several ways to show appreciation and make it worthwhile for testers. The most common way to compensate testers is by providing them with the final version of the pattern they helped improve. Offering discounts for your other designs is another great way to thank them. Some designers create private tester community or offer early access to new design as an incentive. Some designers, especially those with larger budgets, offer monetary payments. Rates vary, but they typically range from a flat fee per test to an hourly rate or payment based on project complexity. This is the least common way testers have been compensated. What's next? In the next episode of the Crochet Designer Blueprint series, we're going to talk about photographing your crochet patterns, even if you don't have a camera. Plus, we'll discuss how to choose the right platform to sell your patterns. We'll also go into how to promote your pattern for success. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any part of this series. Follow me on all my social media accounts listed below and consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.